Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Yevamot. We are up to Perek Bet Mishna Gimel. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'elu Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Aranbayev, and Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov, Menuchatam Megan Eden, Amen, and Le'avdir ben Chaim Nechaim, with the Refuah Shelmav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa, Betoch Shah Chulei Israel. Our Mishnah gives a general rule for cases in which the Yevamah, the woman who was a candidate for Yibum, is forbidden in some way to the Yavam, the brother meant to perform Yibum. It teaches that depending on why she is forbidden, in some cases there is no Yibum or Chalitza, in others there can only be Chalitza, and yet in others there can be either Yibum or Chalitza. Klal Amru Bayvama, the sages stated a general rule with regard to Yevamah, Kol Shehi Isur Erva, in any case where she is forbidden to the Yavam under an Erva prohibition, Lo Choletzet, Velo Mityabemet, even her co-wife gets neither Chalitza nor Yibum, and the same certainly applies to the Erva herself. This is the law we learned in the first two Mishnayot of chapter 1. The prohibitions for which there is only Chalitza, the Mishnah states, Isur, Isura, Isur, Mitzvah. In a case where her prohibition to the Yavam is a prohibition due to the mitzvah to keep rabbinic laws. Now the source of the obligation to keep rabbinic laws is a Torah statement in Sefer Dvarim, chapter 17, verse 11. Lo tasu min hadavar sheyagidu lecha yamin u'smol. You shall not deviate from the word that they will tell you right or left. Meaning the Mishnah is saying she is forbidden to him by rabbinic law. In a case where she is forbidden to him by rabbinic law, v'isur kedusha, or prohibition to the Yavam is a prohibition due to the need to maintain the sanctity of the Kiuna, meaning the Yavam is a Kohen, and the Yavama is forbidden to him under biblical law. Choletzet v'lo mityabemet, the law is that she performs Chalitza, since even with these prohibitions in place, there is still a Yibum bond that needs to be severed before she can marry others, but she may not be taken in Yibum since she is forbidden to the Yavam. Since a woman forbidden to him under rabbinic law is permitted under biblical law, there is surely a Yibum bond between them. While the rabbinic prohibition prevents him from marrying her in Yibum, Chalitza is still needed to sever the Yibum bond so that she can be free to marry others. And even when the woman is forbidden to him under biblical law, because he is a Kohen, he still has a Yibum bond with her because the prohibition against marrying her is not comparable to the Erva prohibitions. Those are subject to the severe penalty of Karet, whereas the Kiuna prohibitions listed in the next Mishnah are subject to the less severe punishment of Malkut. Since the Torah teaches the exemption from Chalitza and Yibum in connection with the wife's sister, a prohibition punishable by Karet, we cannot learn from that example exemptions for less severe prohibitions that are not punishable by Karet. Therefore, the Rav says, the women in this less severe category require Chalitza to sever the Yibum bond, but are prohibited for Yibum. Now, whenever there is a Yibum bond between a man and a woman, they're considered to be married in the sense that he may not marry her mother, sister, or any other relatives that would be considered an avatim if she were his wife. According to most authorities, this is a rabbinic prohibition. Accordingly, if two brothers were married to two sisters and the brothers died childless, the third brother may not perform Yibum with either widow, since each one is a sister of a woman with whom he has a Yibum bond. The law is different, however, if one of those sisters is an actual ervat to the third brother. That is the Mishnah's case in which there can be Yibum or Chalitza. Achotah she yivimto. If her sister is also her sister-in-law, and both fall for Yibum to a third brother, but she is an ervat to him, meaning she is the living brother's mother-in-law or former daughter-in-law, Choletzet o mitabemet, the sister may perform Chalitza or be taken in Yibum by the living brother, because he has no Yibum bond with the first sister, since she is an erva to him. And that is in the Botai of Mishnah Gimel. Now, the middle clause of Mishnah Gimel mentioned that some women are forbidden to the Yavam by rabbinic law, and others are forbidden to him due to the need to maintain the sanctity of the Kiuna. Our Mishnah, Mishnah Dal, Mishnah 4, spells out who these forbidden women are. Isur mitzvah, the prohibition that is due to the mitzvah to adhere to the rabbinic laws. Shniyot midivrei sofim refers to the secondary erva relatives who are forbidden by the words of the scribes, the early rabbis. There are 20 such relatives. Number 1, a mother's mother, meaning a grandmother, as well as her mother, and so on forever. Number 2, a mother's father's mother, meaning a great-grandmother, but not any earlier ancestors of this line. Number 3, a father's mother, as well as her mother and her mother. Number 4, a father's mother, but not earlier ancestors in this line. Number 5, a father's wife, as well as his father's wife and his father's wife. Number 6, a mother's father's wife, but not earlier ancestors. Number 7, a father's maternal brother's wife. Number 8, a mother's brother's wife. Number 9, a son's daughter-in-law, as well as his son's daughter-in-law and his son's daughter-in-law, etc. Number 10, a daughter's daughter-in-law. Number 11, a son's daughter's daughter, meaning great-granddaughter. Number 12, a daughter's daughter's daughter. Number 13, a son's daughter. Number 14, a daughter's son's daughter. Number 15, a wife's son's daughter's daughter, meaning wife's great-granddaughter. Number 16, a wife's daughter's daughter. Number 17, a wife's father's mother's mother, meaning a wife's great-grandmother. Number 18, a wife's mother's mother. Number 19, a wife's mother's father's mother. Number 20, a wife's father's mother, but not earlier ancestors, any of these lines. This is how the Rav explains the Shniyot. Some variations appear in Tosfot Yom Tov and Tefillah Yisrael in the commentaries. The Mishnah continues, Isur Kedusha, the prohibition that is due to the need to maintain the sanctity of the Kehunah includes the following women: Almana leKohen Gadol, a widow to a Kohen Gadol, meaning a woman who was married to an ordinary Kohen who died childless, and she falls to his brother who is the Kohen Gadol. The previous Mishnah taught that he performs Chalitza. Girusha v'Chalutza leKohen Idiot, a divorcee or a Chalutza, a woman who once received Chalitza to an ordinary Kohen, meaning a Kohen unlawfully married a divorcee or a Chalutza who is similar to a divorcee and forbidden to a Kohen by rabbinic law. Although she was forbidden to him, the marriage took effect because the penalty for cohabitation with this woman is not karet. The Kohen then died childless. His brother, who was also a Kohen, may not perform Yibum, but performs Chalitza to sever the Yibum bond. Mamzeret unitina Israel, a female mamzer or a nitina, a female descendant of the Gibonites. Now, the nitinim, literally, the word means designated, are the descendants of the Gibonites, a Canaanite group that tricked Yoshua into allowing them to convert to Judaism during the conquest of Eretz Yisrael. When he discovered their deceit, Yoshua designated them, Vaitinem, the Pasuk in Sefer Yoshua says, as woodcutters and water carriers for the temple. Some say that their descendants were forbidden by biblical law, since the Torah's prohibition of marrying Canaanites includes their converted descendants. Others say they were permitted by biblical law, but Yoshua forbade Jews of proper lineage to marry them in times that the temple is standing. Later, because of their cruelty toward Shaul HaMelech's children, David HaMelech extended this prohibition for all times. The Mishnah says, like we said, a female mamzer or netina, even to a sled, to a non-Kohen, meaning if the deceased brother was improperly married to a mamzeret or netina, the living brother performs chalitza so she can marry others. She is allowed to marry men of flawed lineage, such as a mamzer or natin. Ubat Yisrael and natin mamzer, and the daughter of Israel to a natin, a male descendant of the Gibonites, or a mamzer, meaning if the Yavam is a natin, like the deceased brother, or a mamzer, he cannot marry Yevamot, who was a Jewess of proper lineage. Therefore, he must perform chalitza. And that is Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Everybody should have Erev Shabbat Shalom. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.